And that's like a perfect segue into, the next part of the questioning, right? Or the conversation. And it's just kind of like obstacles. There's tons of them, right? It's whether they're ones that you create yourself during the day. Me and Vin made a run this morning for National Donut Day, grabbed off some donuts and bagels, and we talked about it, right? Like you get on this roll of phone calls in the morning, of cold calls, or whether you're a real, whether you're a realtor, you're a loan originator, you're getting on these cold calls, right? And maybe you get 5, 6 voicemails and you get one, answer, and that answer that you get doesn't go right. Mm-hmm. And you're like, damn, that call stunk.
Yeah.
Now your brain is shifted, right? And we talked about it, and it's like that could easily be an obstacle for the day where your 7 calls that you made before that just stopped because you had a bad call, and now you're not going to make another call for an hour because you got caught up in this email or that loan that you're doing or that whatever. And, so for you, I guess it's a 2-part question. What was a big obstacle in your early part of your career that you really felt like you had to work through to get to the point where you're at now? And then in just your daily routine, how do you deal with obstacles as they come up through the day? Father of 3, coaching, but business owner, investor yourself, it's all these things. So, I guess just kind of your commentary on obstacles and how they affect your day to day, and how you can kind of overcome them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, in my current state, I really, and I don't always do the best job of this, but I when I do it, it works really well. I mean, it's planning and it's time blocking. I mean, time blocking, I think, is the number one thing. I mean, you really have to have your day laid out and try to hold yourself accountable for, if you're trying to make prospecting calls, it has to be a non-negotiable. And, I think, taking back to the start of my career, and the biggest thing for me, I think I've even circulated a book on this with you guys, is about call reluctance. You know what I mean? Like, not wanting to if we're talking about being in a sales role, and, and I feel like when people use the term sales, you think of, no offense, Jack, but you think of car salesman, or you think of just somebody who's trying to sell you in the terms of convincing you of something. And to me, that's not what sales is. And I think when I realized that, it made me better at what I do. I think sales, I think it's somewhere down the road, the Latin word for sales is to serve, to serve somebody. You know what I mean? You're not trying to convince somebody of something that they don't want. You're there to try to help them with something that they need. Right. And if there's not a need, then there's not a need. So, and I think when I started looking at things that way, I think I became a much better of a salesperson, trying to ask questions. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish here? And can I help you?
Right.
We talked about that last week, about how collaborative we try and be, and also you try and focus on what you listen more than you try and put your own agenda first. And I think you guys are very good at that. And it philosophically, again, not just about First Equity, as people and as investors, it plays through all assets of, I think, all of our lives. I think that's why we're able to mesh like we do, and hopefully, be as successful as we think, we are going to be. Yeah,
and like you mentioned, the call, a call gone bad. I mean, listen, you try to learn from everything, right? I mean, why did the call go wrong? What was it something I said? What, did I offend somebody, or did I not explain something the right way, or whatever the case may be? I mean, look, if it's just simply a no thanks, I don't have a need for your service, well, that is what it is. I mean, if there's not a need, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm trying to convince somebody of something that they don't need. You know what I mean? My clients, my referral partners, from my realtor partners to my past clients, my existing clients, I say to myself every day that I hope they're, using my services because they feel I add value. If I'm not adding value, then, and you don't feel that way, then you shouldn't use me as your partner, or your, or whatever the case may be. And the same goes to, you guys as our part of our team here. You know what I mean? I hope everybody feels that there's value in what we do, and if there's not, then it's not a good setup. But yeah, and then just but letting that stuff roll off, you know what I mean? Right. Just onto the next one. Don't take it personally that if there wasn't that need there, it has nothing to do with you as a person, whether or not you did it. Right? It's just is there a need for what you can help them with?
Yeah, and I mean, you can't
experience probably. Right?
Yeah, you can't get mad at somebody because again, you got to remember you may be calling them out of the blue, right?
Totally,
And
think
just
about
for
how
them to
you
have
react.
An adverse reaction, right?
I'm the worst, and that's why I think I struggled, especially earlier on in my career.
What's this guy calling?
When people call me, I'm just I'm shrewd.
Oh, really,
with that.
buddy? You got a vacuum?
Exactly. So it's and when you immediately have your guard up when you're calling somebody, especially if it's out of the blue. But But that's why referrals and, you know, getting introduced by somebody, you know, is such an important thing, because somebody else is validating, hey, look, Jack or Ryan, you know, these people really, really took care of me.
Yeah.
I mean, you building out, you know, your mini empire, you know, down in New Orleans, because you've just, it's word of mouth kind of, you know, the work you've done, and you've helped people significantly, and it's just kind of growing from there. So.
Yeah.